So Apple has decided to move on from their early product upgrades, which is something that a lot of you have been asking for. If you ask me, I never saw that as an issue because you're not obligated to buy a new iPhone every year, and every company, even as rich as Apple, still has to live off of profit, and as long as people were buying new iPhones every year, that didn't really seem like an issue for anyone. But here's what's been happening for the last 2 years and why I also think it's a good decision moving on. In the last few years, instead of releasing features, Apple started promising to release features, and then by the time they were out, they started promising to release new features. So in the end, you as an end consumer would buy the device with promised features that were not even shipped yet. Like with the 16 Pro, Apple Intelligence is not even out yet, and Apple has been hyping it for so much. And not only that, the iPhone 16 Pro has this new camera control button, which is missing half of the promised features, and it's not like it's hard to code features for a button. This started happening back with the iPhone 12 Pro when they promised ProRAW and it only got out later. The same happened with the 13 Pro, and from that point they started promising features instead of delivering them. Now, as I said, I didn't mind that they would release a new iPhone every year, people were still buying it. What I have a problem with is that they now also started doing that with iOS. It really doesn't look good for Apple when they promise a big feature with the iOS update, then the iOS update gets out and it's missing the big feature that they talked about so much. And it seems that Apple started realizing that too. For now, Apple is just planning to stop releasing new products every year, and it's not yet clear whether that affects the iOS or the iPhone or both of them. So we might get a scenario where the new iPhone releases every 2 years. And to be honest, I don't even think it's bad. But if we're gonna get a much improved iPhone every 2 years, that's a win in my book. Also, not to mention, it's way better for the planet, and as for revenue, I don't really think it will drop that much if Apple stops releasing a new iPhone every year and instead of that makes a new iPhone every 2 years but with more significant improvements. Tell me what you think about it. Would you upgrade every new iPhone if it came every 2 years instead of every year? Do you think that Apple will bring more significant improvements to the iPhone if it comes once every 2 years instead of every year? Or they'll just keep doing minor refreshes but releasing it every 2 years instead of every year? Who knows? I also really hope that this affects iOS too, because as much as I like the new customization options, I'd like it even more if it was stable. I have had nothing but issues running iOS 18 on my iPhone 14 Pro and 16 Pro. On the 16 Pro, it's so bad that the phone will just randomly freeze sometimes and completely stop responding to any inputs. So yeah, I think I like this change. Whether this affects the iPhone 17 that it's supposed to come in September 2025, we don't know yet. I think it's still on track for the next year, otherwise we'd probably know already. But tell me what you think about it in the comments. Like this video if you enjoyed it, subscribe if you want to see more tech content, and with that said, thanks for watching and I'll see you in the next one.